Welcome everyone to Immortal Type. My name is William Vincent Carlton. Tonight we will have some narration of the typewritten pages from today, but before we do that, I'd like to get started with a general tarot reading. This is a reading that will serve you at the time that you receive it, so it doesn't matter so much today's date as the message is designed for you for when you receive it. So let's get started. Going to start with the Mind of Humanity card coming in to oversee the reading from today. And today we have Jupiter overlooking things. Jupiter is a god of expansion, also has to do with wealth. And so to give you the reading here, Jupiter is the all-powerful planet of expansion. It signifies the unlocking of your highest potential from within, expanding whatever you are focusing on at this time. So what that can mean is, if you're focusing on something that's positive, it could be expanding that. Also, it could be focusing on something that's negative. It's really important to decide how you wish to expand things in your life. We're going to set aside this deck of cards for clarification and start with these gold cards. Before we even begin, and we're going to get some of this in the reading today, I've been listening to Neville Goddard and was specifically moved by this 40-minute audiobook about the power of feeling. And so I'm going to read tonight with that as the inspiration. However, I found myself in this place thinking about story and where we are currently in Dr. Goodman, what is it? I don't even know the name of my books. Dr. Merriman. Forgive me. It's not to be anything but serious. I often forget the name of the titles of my books because they get written spontaneously and I move into the book and I usually don't look back. In this second to last, or the penultimate chapter, we had the Tower of Goodman being destroyed, and it comes from a lightning bolt from the Hermit. As you can see here, this light from the lantern comes and strikes the tower, leading to a significant life change. And in the event of Olden Lockhart Smith, he finds himself having to make a huge leap of faith that ends up turning in his favor quite a bit. It's very fortuitous for him. So I thought I would leave these cards out for everyone to see the story as it's unfolding. You'll see more of that today. However, it's more reflection on what's going on in the outside world after Olden Lockhart Smith has walked through the gates of heaven and is literally living out his dreams with wish fulfillment as if he's in heaven. The Garden of Eden has opened up to him. All right, so without further ado, let's get started here with the tarot reading. Since we have Jupiter here overseeing the reading today, I'd like to do 3 shuffles, and then we're going to start drawing cards. So make a little space here. We're going to do a total of 10 cards today. So the first 5 cards will be laid out on the top row here. The remaining 5 will be on the bottom row. The first row will be representing our immediate past, and the bottom row will be our current events, or the best pathway for you to achieve your wish fulfillment as you see it. All right, so we're going to start with 3 shuffles. And right off the bat, we've got the Hermit here and the 8 of Cups. So let's do a shuffle. I'm going to move the Jupiter out of the way just for the moment, for the time being, so I can get this shuffle done without any sliding around. Now we move in. We've got the Page of Wands showing face here, some form of message that has to do with manifestation. Anytime you see wands, you're dealing with fire energy. Let's do one more, and then we're going to begin the reading for today. So we've got Queen of Wands. Once again, wands showing face. Got a lot of fire energy in the air. Let's bring back Jupiter, overlooking things. Let's see what we got going on here. And before we begin, I'm going to ask the spirits that serve the highest good of all involved. In case you hear any sort of screaming and playing in the background, that's The children living here in the house going nuts, and that's okay. It's all part of the game of life. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. First card coming out is the 8 of coins or pentacles. Anytime you see pentacles or coins, it has to do with the material plane, earth energy. Could signify money, though in this particular case, it's an indication that in the immediate past you've been grinding. You've been doing a significant grind for the sake of your passion. However, it has been somewhat stale. Not a lot of passion going into it, even though you're doing that which is considered your purpose. So how interesting is that you continue grinding for the sake of the grind, not really seeing the spiritual benefit yet. But let's get some clarification on this. 1, 2, 3. Coming in 1, 2, 3. And the last 1, 2, 3. Right off the bat, this is the Major Arcana number 19. It's actually the chapter where we will start off today. And it's beautiful to see this aligned in such a way. The Sun is the most positive card in the deck of Tarot, and it represents healing, it represents new beginnings, it represents wish fulfillment, and it represents the connection with your innocence, with your inner child, and being able to connect with that part of yourself that perhaps you may be neglecting. But it's all here, and it comes as a result of this grind. So not to worry so much about the grind coming through. The Sun is going to be a result of your hard work meeting opportunity. So let's see what else we got coming from the Sun here. 1, 2, 3. Coming in 1, 2, 3. We got a card slipping out here, so we're going to keep this one. And last one here. 1, 2, 3. Coming in. Wow, wish fulfillment. There was some indication of a struggle going on, but that struggle's over. Remember, this top row represents the past. So whatever has occurred, it's already happened, and it's already reached its point of conclusion, as has this wish fulfillment. Now, what the wish is dependent upon you, the querent, the person receiving the divination, and we'll find out more clarification on what that really is. But it is a wish that's been fulfilled. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Well, that wish fulfillment is you coming into a leadership role. Beyond that, if you look at the actual card itself and what it represents with the 10 of Cups, this is the end of a cycle. You've worked very hard. You've reached the point of conclusion where you've sown a bunch of seeds in this immediate foreground right here. And you see that you have your family with you. You're celebrating with the love of your life. In the pastures ahead, you have your home and a happy place, happy home. It's also putting yourself in a leadership position where others are now counting on you. And so whatever it is that you're doing that has to do with your wish right here, it's come true in the form of you being a leader in some way. That is already passed. So let's dive into the immediate present now. 1, 2, 3. We got a card sticking out here. Oh, it's 2. Okay, so we're going to keep going. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Right off the bat, you got stable financial assets. You've got your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Look at that. This is the 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, 4 of Coins. And you'll see this individual is pretty wrapped up in the material right now. Caught in the whirlwind that is the grind, but more so on the focus of money itself. And you see there's not a lot of letting go happening here. So something to keep in mind. Perhaps you should be loosening up a little bit when it comes, not be so frugal with things. And that will allow things to flow. But let's just see where things are going to flow to begin with. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And for Jupiter, 1, 2, 3. Let's see what we got. Okay, 9 of Cups. Well, if we saw before here with the 10 of Cups represent you going into a leadership role, the good news is alignment with the star is still here, with the 9 of Cups represents fulfillment of a wish, also coming into a role where you're possibly collaborating with others. So if you're joining a team, this is a great time. You also will have your wish fulfillment. So just hold on to that wish. Do not let go of it. Don't let things distort the image in your mind of what you imagine attaining, because it's being repeated here with the energy. In other words, the energy is coming forth to say to you, hold on to this. It's an important thing. Do not let it go. Let's find out what's in the center of the reading right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And finally 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's some form of defeat. It's going to occur, and when the defeat comes, you'll know. It'll be clear. And the good news is everything is already in motion as far as you finding that which you desire. It's already in motion. It's to say to you, failure isn't necessarily a bad thing. The way I look at the 10 of Swords is probably like the least desirable card in the tarot deck, and it happens to be in the center of this reading. But look at what's overwhelming this or overseeing this reading today. We have Jupiter. So Jupiter energy basically says, I'm not going to quit. And I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to be the teacher that I'm meant to be. And it could involve some travel. Just know that if there's a defeat that's there speaking back to you right now, it's not the end of the world. And this represents the end of a cycle. It's the end of a cycle. So it's not to get too caught up on the defeats, the losses, the failures. It's a way to learn. Let's see what comes as a result of that. Understanding that, you go with the flow. You accept, you take your losses for what they are. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Experiencing some drop frames. Talking about death. We got some drop frames coming in hard right now. Possibly the internet dying. Oh, we'll see. No, it's coming back. All right. Coming back. And we got the energy of the High Priestess, which is Pisces energy. And this is the deep spiritual and the mysterious coming forth to remind you of what is most important in your life. So it's to keep in mind that you have this mysterious power that's coming. And if you focus on that, the subconscious, which has no connection with any of the pains of life or the pangs of life, the subconscious is pure power, and it's totally connected to that which you desire, in that it's listening and constantly creating. So the High Priestess has immense power in being linked to the subconscious, which once again, the conscious mind is the active mind. It has to do with wands. It has to do with fire energy. It's a masculine energy. It has to do with the divine masculine. The High Priestess is all about the divine feminine. And so she is here to let you know that all of the power within you is within you, rather. Anything that you're seeking, to not be looking so much on the outside. It all starts with the initiation of thought. So you've experienced some sort of physical loss, but potentially some form of loss that you feel, and you need to be able to get over it by letting yourself know that you can have the freedom right now to feel that which you desire as manifest right now. And if you do that, we'll see what the result is in following this path. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this one wants, no, it's 2 cards. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And finally, 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. It's probably the start. I'm not going to say probably. It's likely the start of a love relationship. And so I would make your focus have to do with that as well. Something tells me that the partner that you're going to meet or the partner that you're with, by understanding and accepting defeat and going through that whole process, you've already placed your wishes out there. You're expecting wish fulfillment now. There was a loss. There was a letdown. There was something that disappointed you, perhaps. And now you have the High Priestess coming forth and saying, listen, all of the things that you wish to have start with the seed, and the seed is thought. So if you start there and you make it about love, you're going to have that wish fulfillment. It's going to come through somebody else, possibly. You're either going to collaborate with someone in some new way, or you're going to meet someone that supports you in some way where you can achieve these goals without having to grind through it on your own. Grinding through, you're going to do this in collaboration with some beautiful person in your life, and it's going to help. It's going to launch you in a direction that you never could have expected, and it's going to happen fast as a result of this collaboration with someone that you also develop a fulfilling love relationship with. You know, who could ask for anything more? Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. And it's potentially you getting away with something. No, this is a stable victory, stable achievements coming in with the 7 of Swords. It's also a great indication of your intellect increasing. It's an improvement in intellect. And you're finding yourself in a place now where if you follow this path, the way it's gone, you're going to experience holding on tight to those things that are most important to you. starting to loosen up a little bit because you have your promise of wish fulfillment coming in with the Nine of Cups, followed by a noticeable defeat, followed by the recovery, which is you start working with the power of the subconscious mind, which leads to this new fulfillment with love that also gives you your stable achievements and your victory as a result of an increase in intelligence. Just you're being more intelligent with things in general. And that's the reading. So I hope you enjoyed it. What I want to do now is dive into the pages from today. And you may notice that my pacing is kind of fast today. It's because there's so much noise going on outside that if I keep talking, you probably won't hear it as much as if there's a pause and suddenly noise. Just as I do that, there is none. Anyway, let's get over here to our pages, and we're going to start with page 1 for today. Just checking on the advancements of pages. The advancement of pages works. So we're going to start with the reading, and this is from today. So just to give you an overview, we are currently on chapter 19, and chapter 19 of the book Dr. Merriman. And this is the 6th book of the year that I've written, or I'm in the process of writing. And it's one of the most satisfying I can say I've ever written, largely because it has to do with this whole personal redemption, but not in the way that you would imagine. It's not a revenge story. It's not like Liam Neeson and Taken or anything like that. It's about a person with nothing to lose. Olden Lockhart Smith has really been through the grind, through the ringer, through the gauntlet, and he's trying to find himself now in a place where he can truly be happy and peaceful. He doesn't want any more adventure, in other words. And so he took his last leap of faith, and it ended up working to his benefit. So now we're going to see what's going on in the aftermath, both with him and potentially of what's going on the outside, which is pretty upsetting just to read. But it creates this conflict that I believe the book needs in order for us to lead it to a conclusion. Because we'll be finishing this book probably over the course of the next week. I imagine once this gets to about 120 pages, it will start to conclude itself. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. This is chapter 19, entitled Sunrise Womb. What you do not want done unto you, do not feel that it is done unto you or another. This is the whole law of a full and happy life. Neville Goddard. For a fleeting moment, I thought to say to you, in a matter most dramatic, that this is a feeling like no other, that I hadn't realized how good life could feel in the arms of a true woman. The honest truth is, I've imagined her so many times. Any time I witnessed a perfect kiss, any time I saw her with another man, touching his face in such a way that only dreams are made of. So many times I've created her in my mind through thought, and every time I felt like she had slipped away and wasn't a part of me. Like that, the world listened, delivered me exactly what I had ordered in the form of pain, disappointment, and sorrow, reinforced by endless fears of being alone for the rest of my life. All of it was illusion. I never would have ended up in the position where I am now if not for faith that it had always been a part of me, always, a seed that hadn't germinated until now. For the vital nutrients it needed for the taproot to shoot out were missing, so often and so frequent that I believed the seeds were faulty, that there could be no other explanation. Of course, I understand now that this was all illusion. Once again, it did not require me having the woman of my dreams in my life to understand that she's the woman I deserve to be with, and that she is deserving of me. I had to do the great work. I had to push aside all nightmares and find the sanctuary within to see the truth of the outside. The woman chasing me in the halls, the big fat man with the yellow hats, the prison from which I could not escape, the falling to my knees, the recipient of rape, torture, and isolation. For I thought all of these things in one form or another before I fell asleep at night, and there is no blame, For the ancient mother brought this to life for me in her own divine way, for the sake of honoring my thoughts and dreams, in honor of my feelings. If you look outside and observe the reality that exists right now, the world is mostly confused, at war with the external, pointing fingers, blaming others, trying to find peace in that. Imagine trying to find peace in war. This is the current snapshot of humanity. It isn't so much sad as it is in repair. Change has already begun, even though the world may not notice it. Sometimes it takes a while for vital nutrients to be absorbed in soil, let alone the root system of plants. The good news is the vital nutrients are here, in the form of faith, truth, and love. What is faith if not the truest form of self-love? To know that admission that this is all a result of thought and feeling. And so whatever situation you may be facing, at least you can admit that it is a result of your own doing, and now you can find comfort in knowing that it shall change, for it is already changing in your mind every time you imagine everyone in your environment being happy, instead of in misery, as you have for so many years. You felt it to be true, and so it was. Such misery is contagious. Someone sees you are in pain, and they can instantly relate, for it is said that life is hard, is it not? For that is the game that so many choose to play by first entertaining this idea in the mind. The world says that women are coming into their power. This is a most deafening argument. What most women and men alike do not understand is that our thoughts and feelings, once entertained, take on the element of fire and present themselves in the form of the divine masculine. This exists in all human beings. To say that women are coming into their power is to say that they were never aware of their divine masculine in themselves until now. Perhaps it is true. If mirror neurons exist in females, they are seeking guidance from men. But men are not speaking. They are told that their guidance is worthless. Little do women know that the divine feminine is connected to a power so much greater than the divine masculine, which is akin to the seed. What is a seed without the earth? What is a fetus without the womb? What is water if not for cupped hands? What is it to give if there is no will to receive? All this world has become is indifferent to all offerings but fire, and such fire begets fire. There is no empowerment without first understanding the basic principles of the elements, and now both masculine and feminine elements exist in all human beings, and they must be well aligned for one to live a prosperous, wish-fulfilled life. To know that these words come from a man is to encourage women to shut down and refuse to listen, for they have been burned so many times. Have they not? Have they not been harmed? What is the first feeling entertained in the morning? Is it the feeling of fear and rejection, which stirs itself into a frenzy per order to the divine feminine? That is what it is. The divine feminine cares not about your identity, your sex, your feelings about specific political ideologies, or anything else. It only wishes to bring forth the feeling that is most powerful in your body. That is it. The divine feminine does not care about what you consider right or wrong, or good versus evil. It only manifests that which you obsess over, and the results come forth. Seek out the evidence in your text messages the next time you talk about someone behind their back in an unsavory way. See how many messages of hate and disgust this generates in others. They are not being sympathetic towards you. They are reveling in the idea that their own fears and pangs of life are always being felt elsewhere by someone else. At least someone. And the more angry you get, the more this expands until it goes viral. People talk about someone going viral as if it were a good thing. Love is already present. It is your choice whether to entertain it. Choose to entertain love over all else, and it eventually will permeate your physical world. Now I say eventually, because you may have spoken ill about others endlessly for years. It's destroyed your mind and body. However, your spirit is still alive and well, for the spirit knows that once you die a miserable death, it is free to go wherever it wishes, and it will have paid a great debt by staying with you for as long as it did, and will choose a body and mind that is well equipped for a lifetime of happiness, with the right teachings and the right people to keep everything well aligned and on course to reach the intended destination, a lifetime of wish fulfillment. If you want the wars to end, think about everyone being happy, at home with family, even if the world sees you as completely ignorant, as it should, for thinking others are at peace during a time of war goes against the entertained thoughts of billions who are taken by the lust for distraction. Fortunately, you can take a deep breath and go anywhere you like. I'll show you how it's done, as it is quite simple. Think about the spine as a cavern or tunnel. There is a space in between each vertebrae. In this instance, there is enough space for your breath to travel through. Think for a moment about the things, places, or people that may have been the catalyst of suffering, situations that do not serve you, and do not worry about sustaining your thoughts about these scenarios. We are soon to let this all go. Instead of thinking about this thing, place, or person, replace the negative with a light. In this situation, I tend to gravitate toward a red light. And so now, thinking about the red light, inhale deeply through the nose, all the way in, imagining air passing through the spinal column all the way to the sternum, where the heart center would be found in a spiritual practice. Once the light is there, exactly where you need it, in the heart, exhale. Let it go, allowing the air to cascade out for at least 7 seconds. Now, on the next inhale, I want you to imagine the color gold entering the body from the base of your feet, traveling up the spine, through the tunnel we have created, all the way through the gut, up through the heart, and it continues, activating the body with this gold, abundant light, all the way through the throat, to the head, and the area between the eyes, finally turning to a glow above the head. Sip in some more air and stay there for at least a few seconds. And while you are there, basking in the golden light, imagine all of your dreams as if they are true, as if they have been manifest before you. Enjoy the bliss that comes from knowing, and more importantly, feeling that your prayers have been answered swiftly and are now part of your reality. Exhale out. And imagine the red light with all the things that no longer serve you, exiting the subtle energetic body, returning to the earth. Excuse me. This is the same process the earth undergoes in order to bring new vital nutrients to the soil. You don't need to preoccupy yourself with worry, thinking whether you have done everything right, as the colors have already been associated with that you no longer need. And so just by letting go of the color, you are making space for the energy of your wish fulfillment to enter your mind, body, and spirit. All is now aligned through this simple practice. Now notice how you can travel anywhere you wish to go, any place that gives you a feeling of accomplishment and true happiness. This practice not only allows you to safely travel anywhere you desire, but it also carries out the alchemical process of replacing that which no longer serves you with things that serve you. But you can also be in the place that makes you most happy. You see how I am repeating this? It's because I am working on the process with you, so that we can be aligned with the things we love and bring them into our lives together, right now, with speed. Chapter 20, Judgment. Michael here. I am the guardian of the gates of heaven. I oversee all coming and going. I defend the gates when necessary. I have fought against the devil in the past, casting him out of the Garden of Eden, and I must tell you, what I see today is worse than any threat he has ever posed. I see women with no guidance. I see a movement with no change. I see victims for the sake of seeking attention. And I see a general sterilization of the human population. Like I said, I see women without proper guidance. For if they understood that the power they seek on the outside is power they already contain within, they would stop all of this nonsense in an instant. I call it nonsense because that is what it is. It is the same nonsense that existed when Cain fell from heaven, back before the devil even had time to take the blame for Abel's death, back when due process revealed it to be fratricide, though it all means the same when it's the death of men. I see the earth without men, and it is soon to be a reality. I see Terrans celebrating this. So loud are the cheers of joy that they can be heard by off-worlders who will soon observe with a discerning eye and in time invade. What once would have been considered a great battle becomes the decimation of the human race. The witches in the veritable covens shall call my name, and I shall not answer, nor shall the devil or any of his demons. We shall close the gates of heaven and seal them shut permanently, and let time run its course, as it should, and it shall, should things continue uncorrected as they have been recently. The sun-dogs from Mercury will run this planet to the ground. The prettiest of women shall be made into slaves and shipped off to Titan, where they'll be given an implant in the brain that shuts off their free will and intensifies their fear centers. They will then be sent to serve the Martesians on shore leave, which is a most horrible existence. For if the essence of man stops flowing, the Pequari will invade. They will take the women they wish to take and turn them into loyal servants. The rest will be left as spoils of war for whomever wishes to have them, as there are no more men, and no more essence flows as a result, no more procreation. All the sperm banks are raided, all the cryochambers destroyed, no hope for humanity, only slavery. It is just, if the world must blame men for all the pain they endure. For those who point the finger are the minions of the devil. They have no place in heaven, not here. They will have to create heaven on their own. And some will make it on their own accord. Some will have the purpose and drive to survive on Terra. And even fewer will make it to Mars, and even fewer will make it to Capital Mall Venus Plaza 1, where they shall live a life of luxury. These are the exceptions, the strongest and smartest and most beautiful, those worth blending with off-world species. All the same, with all that opulence, they are still set to become slaves, as a result of the elimination of men. For telling them repeatedly that they are worthless unless they are providing, for telling them they are wrong for not supporting women, and wrong for supporting them all the same, no answer was ever designed to be correct, and therefore no options, at least no viable ones, have been offered to men. Of course, all of this matters not to Olden Lockhart Smith, for he is in heaven now, with those he personally selected, his family, the woman he loves, Celeste, and a few select friends that truly matter, those who were there for him when he hit rock bottom, and the few exceptions he made with those who mocked him, those he was willing to openly forgive. Many will be forgotten now, unless change is immediately made. Change does not require an apology. Men simply want peace, a general lack of interference, a woman who believes in what he can do instead of what he needs to do in some form of love transaction, which is, in essence, void of love. If women, by majority, can take control over their own lives by accepting that their reality is a result of their own entertained thoughts and feelings, then men will survive. There will be no extinction event. There will be no invasion. Once again, no apology necessary, only a shift in responsibility. If a woman tempts the world with gossip, she shall be chipped and sent to the long halls for rehabilitation. Very few make it out. Olden is the most shining example of one who makes it out, fully reformed. He is an exceptional person in this light. Not everyone has the constitution as he does. To be able to face one's own demons repeatedly and break down all existing towers in the mind through the strict adherence to loving all and serving all the best one can. Which is to say, gossip in the New World is met with immediate correction, for there is nothing more destructive to a society than one that sees itself as separate enough to keep secrets. There are no secrets to the angels, nor to the devil. Truth shall be the newest form of communication in this new world, or humanity shall perish. Many will need to be sent for reform. Many will get stuck in a perpetual feedback loop. Those that make it through shall be welcomed into the Garden of Eden. Well, that was a heavy one. Thank you for being here to be a part of this tarot reading and narration. And I'm going to take a moment to take a look at chat to see if anyone has left a message. And if you have, please feel free to ask a question about anything that you may need clarification on. And I'll do my best to answer. So I'm just stalling a little bit right now, trying to get to the video, which it should show up. Yeah, it's showing as live. And so I'm just keeping an eye on chat now for a few minutes. If there's anything that you need, anything that you desire, anything that you're looking to have fulfilled with an answer at this moment in time, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to respond. Just for now, as a quick review, remember this top row is specifically in response to the immediate past, and this front row is the current moment. It's the pathway that you could choose to take for the sake of wish fulfillment. I'm going to give some clarification with definitions from the Marseille deck, which I always like to do, in the event that perhaps I may have missed some detail, though I find myself getting pretty familiar with the lesser arcana or the minor arcana, even though I've only been studying them for a few months. I find myself now, after drawing several of them, more familiar with the meanings. So I'm going to give some more clarification from the Marseille and let you see that. And if you have any questions, please feel free, like I said, to just chime in on chat. And what I'm going to do now is bring chat over to the other monitor and get that up and running. Okay, I've got chat running now, so I'll be able to see if anyone chimes in. And what we're going to do is just get some clarification on these cards right here. The King of Pentacles wants to show face. That's good. We'll talk about the King of Pentacles for a moment after this. Okay, going into the start, we have at the bottom of the deck, it serves as the portal into everything that we're discussing. So let's go into that first with the Seven of Swords and explain the definition that's coming in. Hopefully we'll get, there we go. Speaking of sharpness, right? Seven of Swords represents sharpness, a focused and determined attitude. You're concentrating on a clear goal and doing what it takes to reach it. And you are winning a fight with the odds evenly balanced right now. That's coming in at the beginning. And the King of Pentacles wanted to just say hello right here. So I'll read that to you, just for the sake of clarification. It's anytime you're looking at the King energy, it's stable. So there's stability. This is, all right, that's Cups. Let's go back here. Okay, here's the King of Coins. Right here. Up top, that's Cloud, by the way. He wants to come in and say hello. Confidence and security, a cautious but optimistic vision, looking for new achievements while holding existing assets secure. He just wanted to say hello. So far, nothing coming in through chat. Just to keep this in mind, if you'd like to say something in chat, you'll need to subscribe. It's free. You click on the subscribe button through YouTube, and then after a minute delay, you'll be able to comment as you see fit. So be sure to click like and subscribe. It's part of this service. You know, the reciprocal service of receiving a divination reading is to give. So just make sure you do that. It's for yourself more than anyone else. That's the truth. Okay, 8 of Coins here. I'm not going to grab Cloud because I want to just get this done with minimal distractions. And he's such a beautiful distraction. However, I'm going to not open the door right now for the guy, just because we've had noise and stuff. So I don't want that to get any crazier than it is. Uniformity, mechanical structure, practical considerations prove efficient but lack a human touch. So once again, you're doing routine work. You're doing the grind, but you are advancing. It's a slow and patient advance. The good news after this is like the slow and patient advance, you no longer have to worry because the sun's here. And this has already occurred, so it's already happened. Now, for looking at the sun, look at this beautiful reading of the sun. Let's see if we can get this to focus. It's because the light's so low. Okay. Just as this says light and warmth, right? Light and warmth, abundance, blessings, pleasant feelings, emotional or physical healing, partnership, trust, sharing, brotherhood, a human touch, an ideal father figure, matters relating to children. These are all positives. Anything that I'm reading right here, it's all in a positive light. Setting limits in a moderate and non-oppressive way. You're trying to find suitable partners in your life, whether it's for business or for love. That's the goal of the sun. You're looking for your suitable partners. Sometimes it takes a little conflict to figure out who that is. That's not a bad thing. Just as it's not bad to have failure, right? We talked about this already. So as we're coming through here into Wands, and we're looking at the 5 of Wands right here, you're overcoming something difficult. Let's get this. It'll eventually, there we go. All right. You're getting over a weak opposition. It's the breakdown of an equilibrium. There it is. The breakdown of an equilibrium. You're focusing on the main objective. Whatever that is, it's coming through. It's an initiative to make a winning move. Guess what? You have won. No doubt about it. Because with the star, you have wish fulfillment, and you definitely do also down here with the 9 of Cups, and you're going into a leadership role. So it's definitely wish fulfillment time. Let's look at the star. This is a major arcana number 17. Comes right after the Tower. So it's a beautiful energy, just like the sun. You have openness, simplicity, return to nature, purity, honesty, showing yourself as you are, accepting one's body and desires, generosity. So if you have any sort of shame of yourself, let it go. Doesn't apply. It also means there's generosity involved in your life right now, some luck from heaven intuitive feeling of guidance or energy coming from a higher plane. The big message is you want to flow from a pure source. Whatever that source of purity is, you want to be flowing from it. You do that, it's going to put you in a leadership role. No question. It's right here. It's already happened. So if you're following that path and you're not inundating your life with doubts at this point in time, it's all there, ready for you, ready to go. And that's a beautiful thing. All right. So let's look at the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Here's the affirmation of it. It's leadership. A person with special qualities receives appreciation and high status. This is you, Querent. Querent's the person receiving the divining right now. You. Assuming responsibility for others or maintaining a superior position. Now, as you're doing that, we move into the immediate present, okay? And in the immediate present, we start off with the 4 of Coins. It's not so much a warning, but it is something that indicates you might be a little too preoccupied with money right now, and that's not going to help you. It's not going to help anything, but it is an indication of stability. Solid material assets, tradition, reputation, and honor. So you're in this leadership role, and now you're being appreciated, you're stable, your assets are good, you've got your reputations being built, you're showing that you're reliable, you're showing that you can deliver, and you're also integrating yourself in established social institutions. So whatever you're doing, you are establishing yourself within that system. It also could mean you have, oh, that's not right. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Established social institutions. Okay. That's the 4 of Cups, 4 of Cups, 4 of Coins. This is about as distracted as my mind's going to get. So this is about the least fluid my speaking will be. It's just very funny. It's good. It shows that multitasking is an illusion. It's not real. Anyway, I'm going to focus entirely on the 9 of Cups here. And it's going to come into focus. Just like... we'll see. Maybe it's not going to come into focus. Okay, it is. Collectivity, a group or organization working harmoniously with everyone finding his or her proper place, accepting one's role in a social environment. Happiness. Wish is coming true. Okay? So you know you've got the happiness, you know you've got your wish fulfillment, and suddenly it's like you've been rejected, or maybe something came through that you weren't expecting that shows there being a loss. Do not get caught up on this. It's only to test you. The universe wants to test you right now to find out whether or not you're going to break down from a single loss. That's one that you can overcome and get through very easily, especially because you've been putting in the work. You're tired. Okay, it's okay to be tired. It's exhaustion. Excuse me. It's a complex situation with many conflicting interests, a long battle without a clear outcome. You need to find an ally who will attack the problem from a different direction. Who's your ally? The subconscious mind. It's the greatest ally. It can also be your greatest enemy. You know, the subconscious mind is not thinking about whether or not you've been struggling, whether or not you've been having to go through difficulties. It's not thinking about that. It's simply responding to your own thoughts and feelings. That's all it's been doing. So as long as you understand that, as long as you get in touch with that, then you're going to understand exactly why this loss has occurred. And you'll know exactly what you need to do. It's to focus on love. But let's read more about what the High Priestess says in Marseille. It's important to get this specifically read to you, because it's a bit more mysterious than what I'm painting it out to be. Okay? Represents wisdom, combining intellect and intuition together. So you're combining the energy of the swords and the energy of the cups together. This is the ancient mother. This is the spiritual mother. It's the divine feminine. It could also represent a woman. If you're a woman receiving this reading as querent, it could be that you're hiding your strengths in a world of men. Could be. Could represent that. Or if you're, a feminine spirit, it could be that you're hiding your true power amongst a group that's very, very masculine in terms of their expression. And that could be, it's not based on gender. Someone can be very expressive in a masculine way with a lot of fire, regardless of who you are. So it could represent modesty, secrets, something hidden, something mysterious. You're getting a hint of something which remains largely unknown. It's impossible to give a definite answer right now. The suggestion is to know how to set boundaries. So how do you set boundaries? You have to be assertive with people. To be assertive is to say no with love, in a way. It could be that there's a romantic offer coming to you that you say no to. You know, sometimes saying no to a specific romantic offer leads to another one immediately opening up to you. That's the feeling that comes to mind right now. With the High Priestess, it could be that there's some form of letdown regarding this love. And whatever that is, if you get over it fast, find yourself recovering and loving yourself more, as you should, you're going to find that wish fulfillment in the category of love coming through. Let's take a look and see what it says here about the lovers. Obviously, it represents love, an amorous relationship, could be emotional entanglement, where you need to make a choice, or you need to disengage yourself from the past influences of your life. The most important piece, I always say this with the lovers, it's the inclinations of the heart correspond to the will of heaven, which is to say, that which you wish is directly related with the divine, with the subconscious, which is infinite. So if you are following those inclinations, you are accessing the energy of heaven, which is infinite, which will give you everything that you desire. So remember that. These are small steps taken, and they're actually the visible signs of an inner desire, something that you've been wanting so badly. Just by making the smallest steps of opening your heart to someone in a romantic way, through a romantic gesture, it could be the smallest thing. It's going to give you something manifest where you can see the visible signs of your inner desire now coming forth. It says here, follow the path of the heart. Is that not what we did in this reading today? With the whole meditation that was here? These pages were written before this reading. Okay, obviously. You know this now. You see it all here. This is the way that God plays games with the heart in a good way. It's a divine play. And so we've already gone through this process of accessing the heart through our breath. It was there in the writing, and it came through in the cards. And I needed the reminder through the Marseille, and it came to us. So it says here, follow the path of the heart. Don't forget. That's what this is all about. That's what the title of everything's going to be today. Follow the path of the heart. Okay? That's it for today. It's been a beautiful reading. It's been a beautiful evening. I'm very grateful to you for being here and joining me. There has been nothing coming through in chat. That's totally fine. It's meant for you to listen, to take it in, and for you to receive it when you do, understanding that the message is perfect for the time that you are receiving it. So don't think that that it doesn't apply because it's not the same date as today. It's not what this is about. Time and space are not related with love. Love permeates everything. May your wishes be fulfilled. Imagine them occurring in this present moment. And please, before anything else, this evening, when you go to bed, be sure to bring yourself to a place in your mind where you are totally content and feeling your life the way it should be, the way you wish it to be, as manifest and real in your heart. And then go to bed with that beautiful seed being sent directly to the subconscious mind, because the moment that you fall asleep is the moment that the conscious mind takes a deep rest. There's no more conflict. There's no more fire. It's just you're diving into the cosmic sea of creation, and you have direct communication with the divine feminine, which exists and rests, and is actually not resting, constantly active, constantly creating in each and every human being that exists on this planet. Just by being human, you have access to this divine power. Be sure to access it. And like I said, may your wishes be fulfilled. Thank you for being here and for being a part of this reading. We are co-creators in this wonderful journey of life, and I wish for everything to come to you in the way that you imagine it, so that you are happy, peaceful, prosperous, and good. Have a great night. I love you.